Hi buddy, today we're going to make some pinch pots for this first project. I'm going to make 3 pinch pots. Here's some tools that you should have from your toolkit: sponge, needle tool, metal rib. This is a wooden rib, and I'll use a nail for one part of this. I'll show you how. Let's get started. I'm going to wedge some clay up. I'm going to push, pull it back, push, pull it back. I'm kind of using a rocking motion. Most of the work is in my lower hips. And when I think we might be done with that, I'm going to cut it in half. Let's see what it looks like. We're trying to get rid of any air bubbles, any hard lumps. That's pretty good shape. And so we have a smaller than a baseball, but we're going to push our thumb in till we're almost to the bottom, not quite. And then we're going to start pinching from the inside. We're going to push out and rotate this lump of clay in our palm of our hand. We want to keep the shape hemispheric, kind of like half a grapefruit. We're doing that because the next project is going to require that you be able to make 2 of these guys pretty much the same diameter and shape. So this will be practice for that next project, all right? I'm just going around and around, gently but firmly squeezing. It's making the pot thinner and changing its shape. I try not to work on a table because if you do it this way, you end up with a flat bottom and you're going to get a dog bowl, no question. So I'm not too worried about these finger ridges here. I'm going to later use my rib to smooth them out, okay? The other important thing at this point is we can't have this pot be thicker than 5/8 inch, okay? And how we're going to judge that, got a needle tool. I have my finger on the inside. I'm just going to push that in until my finger feels it go through. And so right now, that's the thickness of the pinch pot. It's not too bad, but I'll make it thinner as we go along. Okay. We don't want a plate-like form. We don't want it to splay out. It's true that this shape is somewhat arbitrary, but like I said earlier, it's for practice for the next piece, okay? So when you think you've got one, or if it gets too wet or you get called away after you've started this, we're going to put it on its rim. If you leave it upright, gravity will flatten it out before you get back and mess up your shape. Okay, so I've got one here. So this is what that would come to, but this isn't quite done, right? So the next stage of the process is we're going to add a coil to the foot. Each of these 3 pinch pots is going to have a coil added to the foot. So one way to make a coil is just by rolling it in between your fingers, like so, or you can roll it on a table if you can, okay? And I don't want these feet to be made with a coil like so, because that's pathetic and tiny. Let's have a little more substantial foot, shall we? Okay. So to add clay, to another piece, we're going to have to slip it and what we call score it. Use a needle tool, anything sharp. Okay, go all the way around. This softens this little part of the clay, sort of breaks it up. When I add some water to it, it sort of makes a little slurry there that acts as glue for our addition of our coil. Ideally, the pot and the coil would be close to the same moisture content. If the pot is really dry, you'll never be able to get the coil to stick onto it because they shrink as they dry, and the dry pot has already shrank a little, and your foot will just pop off. Very sad. You'll have to make it again if that happens. So here's my coil, right? I'm going to add just a little water to it here in my bucket. And I'm going to go around. And what I want to do is I'm going to overlap that foot just a little like that, right? And then I'm going to cut at an angle. Get rid of the piece underneath and join it up, okay? So that's roughly our foot. I'll next go around and I'll join both the inside and outside. Right, sort of crimping it down, okay? And then what I'm going to do is I'll smooth that out with just my thumbnail should do it. Okay. And this takes a little fussing around to do. I'm not going to bore you with all that, but I'm going to want your foot to be nice and smooth. Now, I'm almost done with the first pinch pot. What I would do besides smoothing that out is I just set it on the table and make sure it's level, right? But I don't want to leave it on that foot because it will become unlevel before you get back, okay? So I want 3 of these. Each of them have a foot. There's some other requirements. Let me show you what the finished pots will look like. I'm going to have the plain one, okay? The second one, what I want you to do is I use a nail and scratch a design of your choice on the exterior of the pot. Don't go through it, okay? Whatever you want. Again, I got a foot on there. And for the third pot, what I want you to do is to add a coil to the outside of this bowl, okay? You're going to have to score gently. We don't want to see all the scratch lines, so you'll have to clean that up. And there you go. So there's your 3 pinch pots. Pinch pots 3 ways. One more thing. Each pot that you do in this class is going to need to be signed on the bottom. I'm thinking first letter of your first name and last letter, JB. You can put it anywhere you want. Otherwise, when you come in after we fire these pots, they'll have shrunk, change color. A lot of them will look pretty much sort of the same. You won't know where yours are. And you say, oh, someone stole my pinch pot. And I can assure you, in the history of man, there's never been a stolen pinch pot. It's there, but you're going to have to find it, okay? So, thank you, and until next time, bye-bye.